The Israeli military launched its offensive and struck Syria's defense ministry in Damascus on Wednesday, and powerful strikes hit the area near the presidential palace, as deadly sectarian fighting escalated after Tel Aviv vowed to destroy government forces attacking Druze province of Suweida in southern Syria. The Syrian Foreign Ministry accused Israel of treacherous aggression, as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defended the move and said its forces were working to save our Druze brothers and to eliminate the regime's gangs. Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Shara said on Thursday, July 17th, that protecting Druze citizens and their rights is our priority, as Israel vowed to destroy Syrian government forces attacking Druze in southern Syria. Shara was addressing Druze citizens in his first televised statement after powerful Israeli airstrikes on Damascus on Wednesday. Reports suggest more than 300 people have been killed in Suweida since Sunday, when clashes between Druze militants and Bedouin tribes started. The United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that he is very worried about the violence in southern Syria and believed it would end within hours.
Yeah, it's complicated, obviously. These are historic, long-time rivalries between different groups in the south-west of Syria, Bedouins, the Druze community, and it led to an unfortunate situation and a misunderstanding, it looks like, between the Israeli side and the Syrian side. So we've been engaged with them all morning long and all night long with both sides, and we think we're on our way towards a real de-escalation and then hopefully get back on track in helping Syria build a country and arriving at a situation there in the Middle East is far more stable. So in the next few hours, we hope to see some real progress to end what you've been seeing over the last couple hours.
The Israeli hostilities have marked another escalation of violence in the Middle East region, and this time against the Islamist-led administration of interim President Ahmed al-Shara. Ahmed had warming ties with the U.S. administration, and the interim Syrian government had evolving security contacts with Israel. Yet the country is facing a violent aggression from Tel Aviv. Israel has accused the new Syrian rulers as disguised jihadists and refused to allow the Syrian administration to move their forces into southern Syria in order to protect the area's Druze community from attack. Diplomats have said that the United Nations Security Council is also poised to meet on Thursday to address the violence and sectarian conflict.
I can tell you that the Secretary General is alarmed by the continuing escalation of violence in Suweida, which has reportedly claimed the lives of hundreds of people, including civilians, and injured and displaced many more. The Secretary General unequivocally condemns all violence against civilians, including reports of arbitrarily killings and acts that fan the flames of sectarian tensions, and robs the people of Syria of their opportunity for peace and for reconciliation after 14 years of a brutal conflict. The Secretary General extends his heartfelt condolences to all Syrians and reiterates his call for an immediate de-escalation of violence and urgent measures to restore calm and facilitate humanitarian access. The Secretary General does take note of the statements issued earlier today by the Office of the Presidency of Syria condemning the violations and committing to investigating and holding to account those responsible for them. We reiterate the Secretary General's appeal for transparency in this process. The Secretary General further condemns Israel's escalatory airstrikes on Suweida, Dara, and in the center of the Syrian capital, Damascus, as well as reports of Israeli Defense Forces' redeployment of forces in the Golan. He calls for an immediate cessation of all violations of Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity and for respect of the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement. The Secretary General reiterates it is imperative to support a credible, orderly, and inclusive political transition in Syria in line with the key principles of Security Council Resolution 2254. Also want to tell you that our special envoy for Syria, Geir Pedersen, is working the phones in the midst of this crisis, and his deputy, Najat Roshi, is in Damascus and is actively in communications with various parties. On the humanitarian front, our colleagues are warning that the deadly hostilities are continuing to put civilians at risks, with the ongoing reports of a significant displacement and damage to critical infrastructure, including water, electricity, and telecommunications networks. Our resident humanitarian coordinator for Syria, Adam Abdelmullah, said that we and our humanitarian partners plan to send a delegation to assess the needs and provide essential services in Suweida as soon as the conditions allow and in full cooperation with the relevant authorities. However, our humanitarian colleagues also warned that access to impacted areas remains severely constrained due to insecurity and due to road closures. Civilians are reportedly unable to reach facilities designated as collective shelters. In parallel to this, our partners warned that medical services are overstretched, including in neighboring Dara Governorate, where hospitals are almost at capacity. The World Health Organization has dispatched emergency medical supplies to Dara to support the trauma care that exists there. Deliveries to Suweida remain pending, obviously due to security access.
Syria's foreign ministry has said that it welcomes the efforts made by the U.S. and Arabian sides to resolve the crisis peacefully.